Hello, fellow book loving friends. Thank you for joining me for Spill the Tea with Dee Book Chat. Go ahead and ring that bell. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss anything. My name is Dee Armstrong. Some of you already know me. I'm a romance and suspense author. My books leave a fingerprint on your heart. But I'm not only a writer, I'm a grandma, teaholic, gardening ninja, and I love to talk about books with my book loving friends. Pour a cup of tea or your favorite decaffeinated beverage. I don't judge. Unwrap some chocolate and let's chat. Today we're spilling on A School for Unusual Girls by Kathleen Baldwin. Now, May Cabot, #1 New York Times best-selling author, calls this romantic Regency adventure completely original and totally engrossing. I know because I read it. I completely agree. It was phenomenal. New York Times Book Review said it's enticing from the first sentence. And I would like to welcome to Spill the Tea, the author, Kathleen Baldwin. Thank you for being here, Kathleen.
Hi.
I'm so excited to have you. Now, let me make Kathleen blush by sharing with you how fabulous she is. Master of the unexpected, Kathleen Baldwin is known for weaving stories spun with a luminous thread of intrigue, love, and light. Her books have delighted readers around the globe with more than 650,000 copies sold worldwide. And a Japanese publisher even made one of her books into a manga. How do you say it, Kathleen?
Manga, yeah.
Manga. I get that wrong every time. And her Strange House series is under option for film. But I cannot thank you enough for being a part of our Spill the Tea book chat. Now tell our book loving friends a little bit about you.
Well, I'm delighted to be here, first of all. And I've been writing for a very long time, and I have several series out, but the one that we're going to talk about today is real dear to my heart. And let's see. I don't know what else you need to know about me. I'm a grandma and a mom, and I've had multiple careers, and I just have always written throughout my life. So no matter what I did, I kept writing. And that's how come I'm here today.
And we're so glad to have you. And Kathleen is doing something really special for us today. She's giving away a signed copy of A School for Unusual Girls for free. Now, this is Kathleen's heritage cover. And it's her first cover, and she has updated it. And you'll see down in the little box at the corner, her updated cover. It's absolutely beautiful. But I really want to thank you for joining us. My book loving friends, don't forget to say hello in the chat. We'd love to know if you could join us. Plus, post your questions and we'll do our best to answer them. Most importantly, in the show notes, in the link, you can win a signed copy of Kathleen's book, A School for Unusual Girls, plus a signed copy of my book, Visions of Emerald. We love to give away signed copies, and we so appreciate our readers. Let's talk about A School for Unusual Girls. Quick recap. Here we go. Set in London in 1814, The School for Unusual Girls opens with the main character, Georgiana. How do you say her name? Georgina?
Yeah, Georgiana. Yeah.
Georgiana.
And some people say Georgina. I mean, in England, they would say Georgiana.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love everything English right now. Georgiana Fitzwilliam, or Georgie, as she's known by those of us who love her. Everything about Georgie is unruly, from her crazy red hair to her crazy ideas. One crazy idea: invent invisible ink. That idea burned her parents' barn down. Unable to control Georgie's mind or her spirit, her parents ship her off to Miss Emma Strange at Strange House to be transformed into a pliable young woman by any means necessary, even torture. Unwilling to bend, Georgie discovers that her crazy ideas might just save the world. Now, Kathleen, how did you come up with the idea for this story?
Well, I love spy stories, but my nephew, when he was just young, he kept saying to me, "You should write a book about girls that are learning to become spies or learning magic or that they have a mentor, and he just thought that was such a fun trope that he kept trying to get me to do that. And then I got looking at how women throughout the ages actually have been spies,
Mhm.
um, rather successfully. Julia Child, you know who she is? She was a cook
Mhm.
back in the old days, and she talked like this. Well, she
Yeah.
started as a spy. She was one of the people who actually got the CIA started back in World War II, and then there have just been women throughout history that were amazing spies, and we didn't hear about
Mhm.
them.
Mhm.
So, uh,
Didn't
I got
didn't Julia
intrigued.
Child put, hidden messages in her in when she would, do she'd go on TV, and I thought that she put some hidden messages when she would cook on TV. I don't know if that's true or not, but I thought that she did that.
I didn't find that, but it may be true. She was such a clever woman, and she married a spy, so who knows?
She probably did. Yeah,
Yeah.
people should not underestimate women. Women are just amazing,
But
and
that's why we got away with spying, is because they underestimate us.
that's true. That's true. So please keep underestimating us.
Yeah.
We're okay with that. We will show
And then
you how awesome we are.
when they got caught spying, what they do is they just slap their hands and say, "Now go home and no more gossiping," you know? 'Cause they would just write it off as she was telling the wrong people things she shouldn't, and instead of getting hung or you know all the things they did to male spies, she would just get sent home to behave
Oh,
herself.
oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is great. The characters in your book are amazing. Of course, we have Georgie and the head mistress, Miss Strange, and then Forcer, Madame Cho, which I really like Madame Cho. I thought she was very cool. Then we
Okay.
have the other girls in the house, Tess, Lady Jane, Sarah, Maya, and each girl with her own special abilities. And then we have the men that vex them. So far, we've met Lord Ravencross, Lord Wyatt, Sebastian, and Captain Gray. And am I to understand that Captain Gray and Miss Strange have a romantic interest going on there?
They do, and you'll find all about that in the last book, but
Oh,
yeah.
exciting!
Yeah.
Exciting! Exciting! Well, we don't want to spill too much. Th- then we
Yeah.
have the villains, Mrs. Pinsbury. Now,
Oh,
right now in this book, I'm not sure if she's a villain or not.
no, she's not. She's the aunt of the real villain, which is Lady
Yes.
Dineska.
Yes.
And then there is, of course, Ghost, who runs the and Napoleon had a secret order of knights called the Iron Crown, and that is actually real. That's an actual thing from actual history that is real that I used in this book. But he's the head of the Order of the Iron Crown, which is a group of assassins and spies. So
Uh-huh. Oh, that's very cool. That's very cool. We have a couple of comments. Oh, we have Anna Coleman visiting us. Hey, Anna.
hi.
And Facebook user that doesn't have the name, it says, "Hi, Kathleen." Kathy Altman saying, "Hi, everyone." So thank you, everybody, for coming. We do appreciate it. It's not too late to sign on, whether through YouTube or through the Facebook group. It's totally up to you. Um, I loved that you continued the story with the characters. When it ended with Georgie, I was like, "No!" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. There's more books coming." What part made your heart race? Now, put it in the chat if you have a part that made your heart race. But when Georgie made the Da Vinci wings, and she and Lady Jane flew into the enemy's fortress to save Sebastian, I mean, what bravery, what trust. And by the way, Kathleen, I love a book when the female heroine saves the tough guy, the love interest, you know?
Me too. And it happens in almost all my books. You know?
Which we love, which we love.
Yeah, I can't help it. It just seems right. But anyway,
Definitely. Tell me, which scene in the book or wait, is there a character that you can relate to?
I've
Um,
been thinking about that question, and I know everyone says don't write yourself into the books, and I think that's good advice. However, all of the characters come from our subconscious or people that we know or have known in our lives, and so
mhm,
it's not unusual to find that you start writing a character you didn't think was like you at all, and it turns out to be a great deal like you. My
mhm.
family all think that I'm Tess in the book, because I have dreams, and then she's she climbs, and I was a rock climber, and so they all think that I have modeled Tess after myself, but I really didn't. It just accidentally happened. And then you find yourself in all of the characters
Mhm.
somehow, even the villain. And I know that's terrible, but it all comes from our own creative mind. And so, because it's part of us, we're on the page. I'm sure you've noticed that when you're writing that you go, oh, that's why I do that. Yeah, it's illuminating to write.
You just lay your heart on the page when you write. That's
Uh-huh.
all there is to it. The main character that I mean, I was gonna say I love Madame Cho, and I don't know what it is about Madame Cho. Maybe it's her stick that she's got. But I really love I really love, Miss Emma Strange to identify with, because I think it's because she's someone who's a little bit different, and she sees the potential in others and wants the what's best for them.
Mhm.
That I so I really identified with her. Um, Kathleen, is there a scene in the book that, was the most emotional for you to write, or your favorite scene, or one that pulled on your heartstrings?
I love when Georgie is getting to know Lord Wyatt and they're working on the invisible ink together,
Mhm,
and he starts talking to her and listening to her, and for the first time in her life, she feels listened to, and he's listening to her talk about all these different chemicals and things, iron oxides and things, and she goes, she thinks that how can talking about iron oxides be such so sweet to her ears, and yet it is
mhm,
because he's listening to her when she hasn't been listened to her whole life, and that touched my heart a lot. There is a scene in the next book, Exile for Dreamers.
mhm.
Tess finds her mother when she has died, and when she
Oh,
finds her mom, that moment is very rich for me because that my mom died when I was 13, and so I got to explore a lot of those emotions in that scene.
mhm,
So that's probably the one that is touches my heart the deepest. But I'd say
mhm,
that I cry a lot when I'm writing, so it's hard to say because 'cause I'll cry in a scene and I'll come back to it. I in the last book, I cried so much.
oh. Well, they say when the writer cries, the reader cries, because that means it's really coming from a well deep inside you. So,
I hope
oh,
that's true.
I think it is. I believe it is. I really do. And so now, has the last book come out yet?
Yes, it just released
Okay.
last June, so
Okay, great.
it it just came out. It's, this one, I don't know. Does it
Oh,
come in that
Sanctuary for Seers.
Yeah, yeah. So
I
it
knew that one was out. I didn't realize that was the last book. For some reason in my head, I thought that I don't know what I was thinking. I thought that was the first book. I think it's because that was the book we were going to spill on that I
Yeah,
thought that was the first book. I got confused.
no,
I
that's my
well,
last.
I need to catch up because how many totals in the series?
There's 5 so far in the series. I had thought this was my last book, but we had a launch signing, and the readers there are going, "No, no, it is not your last book," and they wanna hear Madame Cho's story. It's funny that you mentioned Madame Cho, because that's one of the characters that everyone is very curious about, and her story, I won't give it away, but She may have been raised on a pirate ship, and so
Oh, wow.
because the
That's
most
way cool.
successful pirate of all time was a woman. And in
Oh,
fact,
wow.
the government of China had to pay her what would be the equivalent of millions of dollars in our money and give her a castle on the coast to make her quit being a pirate. Yes. Oh, her
Oh,
story is amazing. I can't wait to tell readers about it. But
oh my
anyway,
goodness. See, this is why your books are so rich because you have all this knowledge in your head and you share it with us, which I'm extremely grateful for. Extremely grateful for. Just a couple of in the chat. Kay Brooks says that she loves Georgie's red hair on the cover.
oh,
Kathy
good.
says that she actually gasped when Georgie fell off the balcony and fell to save herself with the tapestry. Oh, and let's see. Anne Coleman says, I love this scene too. The chemistry side of the book was wonderful.
Oh, thanks.
And then Lise says, the last book is great. Great. Oh, and
Oh,
let's go
thanks.
to Anna. Anna says, I bawled like a baby when the series was over. That one sure pulled my heartstrings. So
Oh,
you did good. These are just fantastic, fantastic
thank
books.
you. Thanks.
Um, what are you writing now? Are there any new projects you have in the works?
Um, well, I just kinda told you a little about Madame Cho.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
You're right.
that's the one I'm working on. I just can't resist telling her story. It's a whole different time period right before the Regency, so it'll be interesting to
Hmm.
see if readers wanna follow to that, but she, uh, she's an amazing person, and her background is fascinating, so I'm working on that.
And Kathleen has also been working on her covers. And we're going to do a little cover slideshow. We'll add them to the stage. Here we go. The School for the Unusual Girls. And then we have Exile for Dreamers, that new cover.
And Tess has a wolf with her,
A
and
Wolf with Her
there's
and
Lady
Refuge for
Jane.
Masterminds. I thought your covers were absolutely beautiful. They have a sincere richness to them. Like you can feel Tessa's dress and the wolf looks so silky. You did a beautiful job on these covers.
Thank you.
And
Thanks.
you do the covers yourself?
I do. I in my other life, I was a graphic artist for many years, and so I did freelance work for Disney. We got licensing through Spielberg. We did all kinds of things. So I I like doing graphic arts. So
Well, you're amazing at it. You're
uh,
amazing at it. It's definitely a gift because those pictures are beautiful. And out Facebook user, see, beautiful covers.
aw, thank
Everyone's
you.
chiming in.
Thanks.
Love it. Now, here's one part I love to spill the tea. I'm going to spill on some beautiful writing by Kathleen. Now, I'll admit might not pronounce everything right, so please forgive me, but it is all from the heart. And here are some of my favorite passages. My heart banged against my ribs like a trapped bat. No reprieve, no pardon, no mercy. I mean, you can feel that ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. And then the headmistress, Miss Emma Strange, sat behind her desk, mute, assessing me with unsettling hawk eyes. In the flickering light of the oil lamp, I couldn't tell her age. She looked youthful one minute and ancient the next. Sometimes I feel like that, Kathleen, youthful one minute and then ancient the next, you know? So I really identified with that one.
No thanks.
And then one of my favorites is this one because I think that a lot of readers can identify with this. I had always played alone, eaten alone, been sad alone. Why should tonight be any different? I sat on the nearest bed and picked at a nubbin of wool on my stocking. I needed to face facts. I'm a trifle odd, but was I so abnormal that my own parents would dispose of me as they would a three-legged pup? That was beautiful, Kathleen.
Oh, thanks.
Absolutely beautiful. And then I have one more. And the reason why I love this one is because I can see this in my brain, her falling. And it starts with Georgina's going through the strange house, and it has love the strange house has all these secret passageways, and who doesn't love a secret passageway? So she's going through all the secret passageways, and she says, "But my toe stubbed against a block of wood. The wood flipped sideways as if on a hinge. The floor beneath my foot sagged. My next step fell on nothingness. No wood, no stone, nothing. My elbow smacked against the mouth of the trap door, and I dropped into back blackness. A rush of cold air swallowed my shriek. Wind billowed out my nightdress as I spiraled down a chute, falling, sliding, bumping, scraping against the rough sides. Rock and debris peppered my shoulders and face, and I flung my arms up to shield myself as I plummeted down the black pit." I loved that. Loved that. Now we have a book giveaway reminder that we are giving away not only free books signed by, but these books are signed by the authors. Now, the link is in the show notes. Click on it and sign up to win. And now let me tell you why I started Spill the Tea. I wanted to grow as a writer, and part of that journey is reading books written by other people. Reading great writing, sometimes extraordinary writing, writing that crawls inside you and becomes a part of you. Books like A School for Unusual Girls by Kathleen. I could have read the books by myself and said, that was awesome, but I wanted to share with you. Share and have fun with it. If you enjoyed Spill the Tea today, share, like, tell your friends, because books are more fun when you share them with someone you love. Now, our next Spill the Tea is February 21st at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. That's a Wednesday. And I'm spilling on Cornered by Suzanne Farrell right here. I'm very excited to read this. Very, very excited. I read the book 3 weeks before just so it's fresh in my mind, and I can't wait to get into that. It's set in 1941 during World War II, and I'm excited to fall into Suzanne's literary world. I'd like to say a huge thank you to Kathleen, not only for joining us today, but for taking us on a great adventure with her book, A School for Unusual Girls. Kathleen, thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for inviting me. It's been wonderful. It's good to see you.
I could not have started off this year with a more fabulous author than you. So I really appreciate it. And the reason I keep looking over here is because I have Kathleen over there on my screen.
Oh,
so a huge thank you to all of you for tuning in and chatting with us on
thanks for
great
being
books.
here.
Yes, you're the best. I'll put the kettle on for next time. Bye for now. Hugs, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.